Have you ever wondered why so much of America seems empty? Like, you drive for hours and see nothing but fields and the occasional gas station? It makes you wonder, where did everybody go? Well, today we're counting down the 10 states that people are leaving behind, the places where folks are packing up and heading for greener pastures, or at least pastures with better Wi-Fi. We're talking ghost towns, shrinking cities, and enough empty space to make you wonder if anyone's even home in America anymore. Stay tuned to see if your state made the list. This is going to be interesting. Alright guys, kicking off our list at number 10, we've got Wyoming. Now, if you've ever driven through this state, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mile after mile of open road, endless skies, and not a soul in sight. It's the kind of place where you can drive for hours and only pass a handful of cars, maybe a few cows, and a whole lot of nothingness. Wyoming's famous for its stunning landscapes, like Yellowstone National Park and the jaw-dropping Grand Tetons. The natural beauty here is absolutely next level. Towering mountains, crystal-clear lakes, and wildlife everywhere you look. It's a paradise for outdoor lovers, hikers, and anyone who wants to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life. But when it comes to people, well, not so much. Wyoming's got the lowest population density in the lower 48, with just 6 people per square mile. Seriously, you could shout across a field and nobody would hear you except maybe a pronghorn or two. It's the kind of place where neighbors are miles apart and the silence can be almost deafening. That's like having a whole subway car to yourself, but all the time. Imagine living somewhere where you never have to worry about crowds, traffic jams, or waiting in line for your morning coffee. For some, that's a dream come true. For others, it can feel a little bit like being stranded on a deserted island. Now don't get me wrong, some people absolutely love the peace and quiet, the wide open spaces, and the chance to really disconnect from the rest of the world. But for others, it's just too isolating. The lack of neighbors, the long drives to the nearest grocery store, and the feeling of being so far from everything can be a real challenge. Plus, the winters? Brutal. We're talking blizzards, sub-zero temperatures, and snow that piles up so high you might not see your car until April. The kind of weather that makes you want to hibernate until spring, or at least invest in a really good snow shovel and a stack of firewood. And with limited job opportunities outside of tourism and energy, it's no wonder people are hightailing it out of Wyoming faster than a jackrabbit on a hot date. Small towns are shrinking, businesses are closing, and young people are moving away in search of more excitement and better prospects. Wyoming might be beautiful, but for many it's just a little too empty. Coming in at number 9 is Vermont, the Green Mountain State. Now, Vermont's known for its stunning fall foliage, its maple syrup, and its Bernie Sanders. But what it's not known for is its booming population. In fact, Vermont's population is shrinking faster than a snowman in July. See, Vermont's got this double whammy of an aging population and a brain drain. Young people are graduating college and booking it to bigger cities with more job opportunities, leaving an older population behind. And while Vermont's beautiful, it's not exactly a hub for cutting-edge industries. So, unless you're really into craft breweries and artisanal cheese, you might find yourself singing "Take Me Home Country Roads" sooner than later. At number 8, we've got Alaska, the last frontier. And trust me, that nickname isn't just for show. It's a place where adventure and challenge go hand in hand, and where nature still calls the shots. Alaska's got some serious bragging rights. It's the largest state in the US by far, so big you could fit Texas inside it twice and still have room to spare. Its wild, untamed landscapes stretch as far as the eye can see, with forests, mountains, and icy tundra that seem to go on forever. And get this, Alaska has more coastline than the rest of the United States combined. That means endless miles of rugged shores, dramatic cliffs, and remote beaches where you might not see another soul for days. It's also home to Denali, the tallest mountain in North America, towering over the landscape at more than 20,000 feet. For climbers and adventurers, it's a bucket list destination. But let's be real, Alaska's not for the faint of heart. Life here is tough, and the environment can be downright unforgiving. Winters are long, cold, and brutal, with snowstorms that can last for days and temperatures that plunge far below zero. We're talking about months where daylight is a rare treat, and darkness settles in like a heavy blanket. The sun barely peaks above the horizon, and for some towns it disappears completely for weeks at a time. It's the kind of winter where you start to forget what sunlight even looks like, and cabin fever is a real thing. And the summers, they're absolutely stunning. Lush green landscapes, wildflowers in bloom, and endless daylight that can last almost 24 hours. It's a photographer's dream and a nature lover's paradise, but there's a catch. The mosquitoes. We're talking swarms so thick you'll wonder if you accidentally wandered into a horror movie. Some say the mosquitoes here are practically the state bird, and if you think you can just escape indoors, think again. Living in Alaska comes with a hefty price tag. Everything from groceries to gas is more expensive thanks to the remote location and the cost of shipping supplies in. Housing isn't cheap either, especially in the more remote towns where options are limited and demand is high. You want a gallon of milk? That'll be $10, please. And don't even get me started on the price of fresh produce or a simple loaf of bread. So unless you're a seasoned outdoorsman who thrives on adventure, or you genuinely love the challenge of living off the grid, Alaska might not be your cup of tea. Of course, if you've got a thing for polar bears, epic wildlife, and the thrill of the unknown, Alaska could be your ultimate playground. For everyone else, you might want to admire Alaska's wild beauty from afar, and maybe just visit when you're feeling brave. Coming in at number 7 is North Dakota, the Peace Garden state. Now, North Dakota's got its charm, but it's not exactly a party state. It's got wide open spaces, friendly people, and more grain elevators than you can shake a stick at. But it's also got long, harsh winters that would make a penguin shiver. And the job market? Well, unless you're a farmer, an oil worker, or a wind turbine technician, you might be out of luck. Plus, let's be honest, the nightlife in North Dakota is about as exciting as watching paint dry. So, unless you're really into peace, quiet, and the occasional tractor pull, you might find yourself looking for a one-way ticket out of North Dakota. At number 6, we've got South Dakota, the Mount Rushmore state. Now, South Dakota's got some iconic landmarks like Mount Rushmore, the Crazy Horse Memorial, and Wall Drug. But beyond the tourist attractions, South Dakota's pretty sparsely populated. We're talking towns where you can hear a pin drop, and the biggest excitement is the annual rodeo. The job market's tough, the winters are brutal, and the entertainment options are, well, limited. So, unless you're a history buff, a nature enthusiast, or a fan of wide open spaces, you might find yourself feeling a little lost in South Dakota. Coming in at number 5 is Montana, Big Sky Country. Now, Montana's known for its stunning scenery, its rugged mountains, and its fly fishing, but it's also known for its dwindling population. See, Montana's got this whole last best place thing going on, but the reality is, it's a tough place to make a living. The winters are long and harsh, the job market's limited, and the cost of living is surprisingly high. Plus, Montana's so vast and spread out that you practically need a Sherpa guide and a pack mule to get anywhere. So, unless you're independently wealthy or you've got a serious case of wanderlust, you might find yourself singing Montana, "I'm leaving sooner than later." At number 4, we've got West Virginia, the Mountain State. Now, West Virginia's got a lot to offer, beautiful mountains, friendly people, and a rich history, but it's also got its share of challenges. The coal industry, which was once the backbone of West Virginia's economy, has been in decline for decades, leading to job losses and outmigration. Many young people are leaving the state in search of better opportunities, leaving behind an aging population. Plus, West Virginia faces challenges with poverty, opioid addiction, and infrastructure. It's a state that's struggling to find its footing in a changing economy. Coming in at number 3 is New Mexico, the land of enchantment. Now, New Mexico's got a lot going for it: stunning desert landscapes, a vibrant arts scene, and honestly some of the most delicious chili peppers you'll ever taste. But it also faces some serious challenges. New Mexico has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation, and yeah, a lot of its residents struggle to make ends meet. Job opportunities are pretty limited, especially out in the rural areas, and the state has had a tough time attracting new industries. Plus, New Mexico has a long history of being overlooked and underfunded, which has definitely contributed to its current challenges. At number 2, we've got Mississippi, the Magnolia State. Now, Mississippi's got soul, no doubt about it. It's the birthplace of blues music, it's got delicious southern cooking, and it's home to some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. But Mississippi also faces some deep-seated problems. It consistently ranks near the bottom in education and healthcare, and its economy has struggled to keep pace with the rest of the nation. Poverty is a major issue, especially in the Mississippi Delta region, and a lot of young people leave the state in search of better opportunities. And finally, at number 1, we've got Kansas, the Sunflower State. Known for its endless horizons and iconic prairies, Kansas is a place that feels both timeless and vast. When you cross the border, you're greeted by rolling fields and a sky that seems to stretch on forever, a landscape that's inspired countless stories and movies. Kansas is famous for its wide-open spaces, its golden wheat fields that sway in the summer breeze, and the kind of sunsets that make you stop and stare. The prairies here are legendary, and agriculture has always been at the heart of the state's identity. And of course, you can't talk about Kansas without mentioning its tornadoes. The state sits right in the heart of Tornado Alley, making those swirling storms a part of everyday life and local lore. But despite all this natural beauty and drama, Kansas isn't exactly known for a booming population. In fact, it's quite the opposite. For years now, Kansas has been experiencing a steady population decline. Small towns that once bustled with activity are now eerily quiet, and neighborhoods that were once full of families are dotted with empty homes and overgrown yards. This trend is especially pronounced in rural areas where farms are fewer and communities are shrinking. The sense of isolation can be overwhelming, with some villages feeling almost forgotten by time. Young people, in particular, are leaving the state in droves. After graduation, many pack their bags and head for bigger cities, searching for opportunities that just aren't available in their hometowns. They're drawn to places with more jobs, more excitement, and a faster pace of life. The lure of urban living is strong, especially when compared to the slow rhythm of rural Kansas. In the city, there's nightlife, entertainment, and endless things to do. Things that are hard to find in the quiet towns scattered across the Kansas plains. Meanwhile, the agricultural industry, which was once the backbone of Kansas's economy, has been struggling. Modern technology means fewer jobs, and many family farms have shut down or been sold off. As a result, many small towns are drying up faster than a wheat field in August, with businesses closing and main streets growing emptier by the year. And let's be honest, the constant threat of tornadoes every spring doesn't exactly help. Living in Kansas means always keeping one eye on the sky, ready to dash to a storm shelter at a moment's notice. For many, that's just one more reason to say, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. So, there you have it, the 10 states that people are leaving behind. From the frigid tundra of Alaska to the scorching deserts of New Mexico, these states are facing some serious challenges. From economic decline to brain drain to extreme weather. But hey, every state has its pros and cons, right? What might be a deal breaker for some, might be a dream come true for others. Did your state make the list? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos like this.